Hey guys, welcome to the channel. And in this video, now we are going to talk about Israel, Iran, and US. I haven't covered this subject for quite some time now, so let's talk about it, okay? Now, first of all, let's start with this. The Israelis Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, he said in his recent speech in the State of Israel Prime Minister office, from there he was talking about something. I'm not going to get into that detail, but he has said this thing for quite some time now. First of all, he said it on Economist, and then from the speech. And first of all, let's do this. Let's watch the Economist speech, Economist interview, and then we will talk about the other things. Okay, so let's get started.
I want to taper off the military aid within the next 10 years.
That would be a very dramatic shift.
We kept, as you say, American military support to the tune of $3.8 billion a year. Much appreciated. So now in my visit with President Trump, I said, we very deeply appreciate the military aid that America has given us over the years, but here too we've come of age and we've developed incredible capacities. And in our economy, which will soon reach, certainly within a decade, it'll reach about $1 trillion. It's not a huge economy, but it's not a small economy. So I want to taper off the military aid within the next 10 years. That's not saying that I don't want to fight for the allegiance and support of the American people. I do. You have to be crazy not to. And it's something deep. It's not.
You want to taper it off to zero within 10 years?
Yes.
That would be a very dramatic shift.
Well, it's in the works.
So, as you guys heard, what exactly he said, the most important part in this whole entire thing was that it's in works. Okay. And that is the key. Now, that's what we are going to talk about. But then, what is all this he's talking about? Why all of a sudden this whole entire thing? Now, let's talk about another post as well. Okay. So, let me share this real quick. Okay. Now, what is this? So, here he's saying that we paid a heavy price in the war. Many fell because Gaza was booby-trapped and we lacked enough ammunition, partly due to an embargo. I decided this must never happen again. Israel must build a strong, independent arms industry. Just as we freed ourselves from American economic aid and strengthened our economy, we must now reach security maturity. Within a decade, I intend to end independence on the financial part of the US military aid and move from aid to partnership. We will pursue joint development and production of the advanced weapons with the US and other partners like India and Germany. This will ensure independence, steady supply, and stronger alliances. Our goal is simple: never lack weapons again. Now, these are very strong words. Now, let's listen to what he said, okay?
אני אמרתי שאנחנו שילמנו מחירים כבדים מאוד במלחמה. הנופלים והפצועים, מחירים באמת כבדים. וחלק מזה זה מה שקורה במלחמה. אבל חלק מזה נבע מכך שנאלצנו, כיוון שעזה ממולכדת, ואנחנו...
He's talking in Hebrew and I don't understand Hebrew. But why all this is going on? Why he's saying all this? What exactly happened? I mean, after all the bombardment, all the US interception during the Gaza and then 12-day conflict with Iran and all that, what exactly went down? See, let's talk up. First of all, I will tell you what exactly, let's recap this whole thing as to what exactly happened during that time, and then we go from there, okay? See, when Israelis hit Gaza, so they lacked lots of equipments to identify the tunnels, equipments to track down the enemy wherever they are. All those things, US had those technologies, and I think the US did not provide those technologies to the Israelis, okay? Because those are very highly sensitive things. Now, and whatever reason. Then other aspect is that uh, right now US military actually is running short of ammunitions and weapons as well. Okay, this is why US never sent tomahawks to Ukraine, and why that is, it's mainly because of all the rare earth wars, the trade wars, and all that stuff that is going on with China. Up until recently, China was providing US all these things, all this hardware, the raw material to build those weapons and all that. And actually, US had identified this shortcoming in 2010. And since then, they have been trying to taper off from Chinese dependence, but they were not able to do it simply because of the growing inflation, and there is a cost associated with the rare earth extraction. Okay, so this is the politics behind the production line of all these weapons and all that. Okay, and because of all this, US could not provide all that help that Israelis needed in order to take care of the business. And now when they hit, for example, for to hit Iran, they needed more capacity and they lagged. And I think when US said that they're going to bomb Iran's nuclear facility and all that, the bunker busters and all that. So in fact, the reports are that the bunker buster didn't do anything. Now Israelis are saying that if in Israel's mind, they are thinking that if they would have done the job, then they would have done it right. They would have ensured that Iran's nuclear facilities are completely destroyed. And that didn't happen because of the shortcomings that I just explained earlier. Now, this is why in his speech in Hebrew, what he's saying that we've paid a heavy price in the war. Many fell because of Gaza's booby trapped, and we lacked enough ammunition. Now you have to understand. You have to read between the lines, and I'm gonna get to Iran as well. Okay, so if you read between the lines here, and this is saying a lot. This is saying a lot more than people realize. Okay, we lacked enough ammunitions, partly due to an embargo. Question is, what embargo is that? Hmm? Think about it. That embargo is the problem because they put the restrictions on it, and Israelis couldn't do what they were supposed to do, what they wanted to do. Okay, now I decided this must never happen again. Fair enough. See, for some countries, it's just a matter of defense, but for the Israelis, it's a matter of it's a existential threat. Now, how much of it is true, how much of it is propaganda, uh, we don't know that either. But Israel seriously has some serious problems in its neighborhood. Now, as we freed ourselves off from American economic aid and strengthened our economy, we must now reach security maturity. Now, this part here, so American in military industrial complex is not able to deliver at the same rate that they're supposed to deliver, and also they're not delivering the quality of the equipments either, which is pretty evident from F-35 crashes, F-35 malfunctioning and all that. Like just last year, F-35 was sitting in Indian airbase for 2 to 3 weeks, and nobody could actually uh, fix it or come and take it. It was a British F-35B, and they were lurking around in the neighborhood, and the Indian radar actually caught it. So much for stealth. And the same thing happened with F-35 in Japanese neighborhood, and so it became a regular problem. All right, now and then other thing is, like, for example, US and India has some treaties too, like they defense contract, defense uh, partnership. Now with that defense partnership, US was supposed to deliver some 19 or some Apache helicopters. Then also they were supposed to deliver G404 engines and all that. They couldn't deliver all that. Okay. And to this day, they took the money, but they haven't delivered. Okay. And it's been 5 to 6 years delayed already. And some thought that this is politics and this and that. But actually, it's not politics. It's simply that they cannot deliver because of the raw material problem. All right. Now, America's manufacturing is just not in that position to manufacture or deliver these type of things at a faster pace at this point. That's what this indicates. Okay, regardless of the reason, if you cannot deliver your commitment, then there is a problem. And in case of Israel, they are going to openly say it. Okay, and that's what they are doing. Now, we will pursue joint development and production of advanced weapons with the US and other partners like India and Germany. That's why Israel is directly and very cleanly mentioning India and Germany. And Israel and India have a very long standing defense partnership as well. And India's military industrial complex is growing, and their policy is very simple that yeah, let's work together and do it. Now, if you look into it, then India, like for example, India works with Russia. India has a partnership with Russia. They share the technologies and they build and manufacture together. For example, the BrahMos missile, the supersonic cruise missile, all that is developed between. It's a collaboration between India and Russia. Then they're working on developing this whole entire Sukhoi 57 as well, the fifth gen fighter and all that together too. So with Israel developing all that is not going to be a problem, and that's what Israel knows. And in Op Sindoor that India did, that when India bombed Pakistan, and India's SAM systems with they were their accuracy effectiveness was 100%. So that sends out lots of signals that hey, right here, this is the spot. That's where we are gonna go and develop and work with them. So up until this point, what I'm just saying, this is the background of it, that what exactly happened. Now, where and how this whole entire Iran thing comes into play here. See, Iran thing comes into play. If you haven't heard that, all the entire USS Lincoln carrier group is in the Strait of Hormuz right now, then you're living under the rocks. But why or how this is linked to that? See, it's linked because Israelis have got the intel that there is almost 400 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium sitting in Iran. Iran can use that to make dirty bombs. And Gaza problem is not 100% sorted out yet. Okay? Hamas is still there. So if Hamas is still there and Hamas hasn't agreed to lots of things yet, they still have to sign the peace accord and all that thing. And then again, them signing peace accord, how does it matter? I mean, Israelis have signed peace accord with these people for many times, and each time they come up with something. Okay, heck, Syria was ready to poison the whole entire Mount Hermon water line, a fresh water stream, just so that all Israelis can be killed in one go. So when you are surrounded by nut jobs, then you have to be careful. But the news is coming back to the point. The news is that Israelis have intel that Iran has 400 kilograms of uh, enriched uranium and 60% enriched uranium, which will give you the yield of around the Hiroshima size bomb. Okay, that is pretty good. Otherwise, to increase the yield, you need at least 2.5% pure uranium fluoride, okay, U2F. So from the uranium fluoride, actually, you extract the uranium 238. All right. So, so now, now here's the interesting part. Why fleet? Why is America really planning to attack Iran? When President Trump has very clearly said that they are not going to get involved into any new war. Some of you may say, make the argument that, oh, Epstein was a Mossad agent and this and that. Probably Mossad has something on President Trump too, and probably that's why he's doing all this. I seriously don't think that is the argument, okay? Uh, Argument is not that. The reality is this. Reality is what I just talked about, that Israelis lack weapons. So when Iranians fired almost thousands of their medium range missiles on Israel last in 12-day war, then intercepting all that, fighting Hamas, all that thing, the Israelis have run out of interceptors. Their Iron Dome is out of interceptors at this point. They don't have enough interceptors. So if Israel, let's say if Iran decides to fire 5,000-6,000, whatever numbers they have of missiles again, that's gonna wipe out the whole entire Israel. Okay, so if Israel has to successfully give, you know, take out its, its operation, they have to conduct their operation successfully on Iran, whatever that plan is. Now, I don't know the plan. Mossad's plan, only Mossad knows. Don't fall for anybody on the internet telling you that they know something. They have no clue, okay? Nobody's telling you jack, all right? So the reality is that Israel is out of interceptors. Now they need some sort of help in case Iran fires those missiles, and while Israel is conducting these operations. Okay, so how do you do that? Only way to do that is when there is American Navy buildup. Navy, all these destroyers, American Navy destroyers have interceptors in them too. In fact, during the 12-day war, American Navy actually fired few interceptors of its own to intercept missiles falling on Israel. Okay, that's why they are doing this heavy military buildup over there in case Iran fires something. If Iran fires it, then they can locate where all these missile silos are. So then, not just interceptor, actually, then US can intervene and destroy those missile silos that are being used to fire missiles on Israel. Okay, that's the actual thing that is going on. All right. So there is no, and if you think that US is going to interfere in, US is gonna get involved into direct war with Iran, good luck. That's never gonna happen. All right. US, see, you may call President Trump whatever you may call. Lots of people have called lots of things. But the reality of it is that man is not a fool. Okay? He knows it. And all these guys who are there in his administration, they know the reality of it too. That getting involved into war with Iran in a long-term war that lots of American enemies want will be a serious problem for America and America's economy. And forget about all that, making America great again after that. There will be no greatness after that, okay? There are so many proxies running around here in America. Look at Minnesota, Somalia problem. Then you go into any Democrat-run state, you will see all these things hiding. Enemies are hiding all over within the country. So those are nothing but Iranian and all these proxies that are sitting there, the cells. So that will create a lot of other problems. All right. So Reza Palvi, who is sitting there making all these YouTube videos that, hey, I'm here, I'm next in line. That's not gonna happen either. Okay, keep dreaming, bro. You're not getting anything. So US is not getting involved into the war. In nutshell, Israelis are out of interceptors, and US cannot provide enough missiles or enough interceptors in time to Israel to really handle all this business. Okay, that's why Israelis are looking for other partners who can actually develop these interceptors for Israel's on time. And if Israeli say US cannot provide it, then Israel can look to India that, hey, can you send us some interceptors, because India buys lots of spice bombs from Israel as well, and bunker busters too. So, and India has developed its own. India has converted its missiles into bunker busters as well. So they don't need any bomber to go and bomb something. Now they will just put the bunker buster on their ICBMs, and just you hide any bunker, they're gonna destroy it. So you will see lots of other developments going on down the line. But as far as Iran and US getting involved into full-fledged conflict, that's not gonna happen. In fact, more so. In fact, quite frankly, I think that Israelis and Iranians are going to mend their relationships once in next 10 years, that is, as Israelis taper off from US dependence, they are going to mend their relationship with Iran. Why? If you look, because see, why is that though, right? It's because the simple equation is this: in that region, every country is hostile to Iran. Okay, except for the countries that fall under the Shia Crescent corridor, that is Iraq and Bahrain and all that thing. These countries have some Shia population, but Iraq has the major population, then Lebanon has the most of the Shia population. Okay, so except for the couple of these countries, they are not hostile, but they're not very friendly either. Okay, Syria has some Shia population as well. Now, so so down the line, I believe that if you look into it, but what I was saying, sorry, so I just lose my chain of thought. So what Iran, so Iran, they're all enemy of Iran. They're hostile to Iran and they're hostile to Israel. So enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And if Israel is going to rely on India and Germany and all these partners for further things, and as if you go look in more into the geopolitics and the military strategies right now, what's going on, I love the strategy part of it. So like in Somaliland, Israelis and UAE and India are collaborating in Somaliland to secure the Suez. So from there I believe the moment you actually see, moment you align with India, you will align with Iran automatically. That's how it's gonna pan out. Okay, I mean, I can. I mean, if I start to explain this whole thing, then I mean, I'm gonna run out of time. It's gonna be another hour-long video. But in nutshell, uh, the whole entire thing will be that it will be in best interest of Israel and Iran to actually mend their relationships with each other. All right, and what will happen to Khamenei? Khamenei is 85 years old. It's highly unlikely that he's going to survive next 10 years. All right, so the president of Iran is going to be leading Iran, and there will be no uh, supreme leader or something like that of Iran after that. Yes, Khamenei's son is there, but I think Khamenei's son will stay away. All right, so that's how things are gonna pan out, and you will see that thing happening. But as far as Iran-US war, full-fledged war, or any such thing, that's not gonna happen. All right, it's just there. It's just there as a precaution to intercept any missiles that are fired at Israel, just to give them enough time to do whatever they are doing, whatever they are planning to do with Iran. And it's not going to be any military operation. They have tried it, it failed, it didn't work. All right. So there is that. All right, guys. So I hope this threw some light into this whole entire.